Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Psycho, and welcome to Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're going to do our final career scenario officially on the London to Faversham high-speed route. This is therefore going to complete the route, and I've used complete in quotes when I say that, because we will have completed all of the official scenarios that come with the route and with any DLC associated with the route. Now, we still have several GXA scenarios over in the Standard tab, and I do have a number of other scenarios, including some career ones, written by Danny Leach, who was not able to get them included in the DLC itself. One of them being the 465 livery pack, which is a marketplace item instead of an actual train pack. So there are scenarios that he had written for that and additional ones for the 466 I will get to on this channel over time. I may utilize those on the merged version of the route, the 2012 London and St. Pancras to Faversham and Sheerness route, whatever the official name of that route is, but it's the 2012 version of the merged route compared to the 2016 version. The difference being a single hexadecimal letter inside of the code for the route, which is very similar to the original Chatham Mainline route, number 66. So it basically merges the Chatham Mainline with the Faversham route, and there's a version for 2016 that includes the new Dover and Ramsgate route as well from 2021. So that came out late 2021, start 2022, the merge for that. I will get to that at some point in the future as well. If I find scenarios ever using that route that utilize the full potential of the route, I will definitely try to make a point of showing them off if I can, and if I have the stock. But for right now, we have one last scenario, the Class 466 Networker, Evening Networker run. We're going from Gillingham to Sheerness, stopping at all stations on a late evening run. So it looks like we have a few extra stations built into this one to make it a 30-minute scenario. Let's get going. Good evening, driver. You will be driving the 2U92 2131 service from Sheerness-on-Sea to Gillingham. You will be calling at all stations today. There are no expected delays to this service today. Wait a minute, the description said we were starting at Gillingham. What's going on here? Where are we? We are at Sheerness-on-Sea. Okay, the scenario description lied, had it in reverse. You did hear me read that, right? I did read that correctly? Anyway, it is nighttime. We are at Sheerness-on-Sea, and the one part that is correct is after we go to Kemsley, we're going to be going to Newington in the other direction, and then onwards to Gillingham for another 6 miles. So that is the one thing that is definitely going on. And being nighttime, there's not much to see here. So headlights, oh, they are on. Oh, that's useful. Okay, notice the headlights went on at the other end when I did that. That's actually kind of silly. I guess there's some way we can do... I don't know what's going on here. In any case, we're going to get ready to get going here. Reverser up. That's on. And do I have instrument lights? No, I don't. I have a cab light? Oh, it was on. Well, let's turn it off. We don't need that. So boarding is complete. We got our 143 points. Looking at the math, 7 stops. That's 1,001 points possible. Therefore, this scenario can be completed with a 1,000 point score with no penalties. As a speeding penalty is a minimum of 2, which would make it 999 if we got only the one small speeding penalty. So we're going to turn the throttle off now that we're at 15 miles per hour. You can see we do have a green signal. The one thing that stood out was there was no red at the end of the platform, so we know that's fine. The other platform had the 2. You can't really see the tracks, even with the headlights on. Notice that you can't see much. You can see a little bit of land in the view of the headlights. That's it. And of course, you can't see anything with the other version, the rear lights in front. So I hate to be the guy who's going to say you're not going to see much on this journey, guys. I will try to make a point of anything we do see as we go by. Was that a train? What was that? Oh, that was a sign on the other route. Okay. Actually, that was my sign. Okay. I don't know anymore. I can't tell what's going on in front of me, guys. Not much else to do here other than look at the passenger view. Oh yeah, it's equally murky. That is a fantastic passenger view, guys. I don't know what to read out of that. You can't see a thing. You can't see a blasted thing. I am not kidding when I say I have no idea what I'm doing here. So let's get the train back down to a lower speed. We're just going to have to be in the dark on this one. Literally, until we see some headlights. Or some lamp lights or something. don't know how train drivers do it with no moonlight to show you where to go. I don't know how they do it. So we run the overnight shift. Good luck getting me a stop at any stations. I can't see them. I'd love to tell you what those signs say, but I can't even read them. We are passing, I think, the depot. I think it's the steelworks area that I think we're going by right now. And checking the map, I can confirm that. No, it was something else, but steelworks was back there. But, yeah. And you see we do have a green signal. That's the one thing that is clear from that picture. Oh, we should be going up to 60. Our time of arrival should be 21:37, which means I need to push it. We are slightly early, but we want to maintain good speed here so we can make sure we stay good and early. We would have made it 30, but it would have been very close for the stop. There is a 35 coming up as well, so we are going to have to slow down for the 35. Of course, we are a two-car train, so we should have no problem slowing down whatsoever. Look at that, that just drained. Given how quickly that drained, I'm going to maintain just a little while longer here. We know this one starts early, I think, from the last scenario. This 30, actually, no, this 35 is right on time. Right on the mark when we hit it. But I never like to risk that anyway, having seen some that go about a tenth of a mile early. So I never take those chances. This one is right on the mark, though, it looks like. Bingo. And yeah, I will have no problem being on time for this stop. So let's put a little bit of brakes on to slow down in advance. That'll do. It's raining. I didn't even notice it was raining. So, yeah, you can't really see the rain in this darkness. Platform is on the left. I'm not even going to look for stop boards. I'm just going to stop wherever I end up. Park it by the stairs. Nice and easy. And there we are, arrival at Queenborough, platform number 1. Leaving Queenborough. Our next stop is Swale. We are on a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit. Did my headlights go off? I think my headlights went off. Well, I hope they're back on now. Not sure why my headlights went off. So we are at a 15 limit. We're about to enter a 35. I'm going to go ahead and take this up to 35. There we go. Take it up to 35 as quick as I can. Normally I would take my time, but knowing that we have another speed limit drop at Swale, I'm a little concerned I might be pushing my schedule if I rely on slow increases in speed. So we're going to go ahead and just take this advantage of the 35 as quick as we can. There it is. So we can go open throttle right now. That is a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit, a little less than a little less than a mile away, actually, now about a mile away. I'll figure out what the distance is later, but it is coming up. You can see Swale behind it. There's a 75 right after the Swale platform. That looks very inviting, but it's not a very long track from there to the next station. As you can see, the ETA, I am melting some seconds off it, but I am going to have to slow this train down very, very quickly in a very short amount of time. So we're going to start doing that now. Have to get all the way down to 30. That'll do for now. There we go. Exactly where I need to be. 30 miles per hour is now in effect. And that should help us with our timing a little bit. We got a little less than 2 minutes to make our stop. But we are about half a mile away, so that should do the job. That little speed boost did help. Very, very nice, I might add. If you can get in mind those spots where you need to give yourself a big boost of speed, pay attention to the speed limits, do that big boost of speed when you're allowed, you should have no problem with the timetable on this route. I see vehicles to the right of us. I think this is that big bridge area that I commented on. I didn't see much of it except the beams as I passed them, so I'm not sure if I really noticed them, other than the beams. I can't even tell there's a road up there otherwise. So yeah, it's not a lighted area. It looks better in daylight. That's why I'm surprised they put a nighttime scenario on this route. I'm a little disappointed, actually, that they did that. So I'm letting the train coast along because I have the time. Just to get my speed down before I get to the end of the platform. I can let the brakes off again as I just coast in a little more. And I'll stop right there. That's good enough. Arrival at Swale. Platform number... Well, actually, there's no platform number. Just arrival at Swale. Leaving Swale, our next stop is Kemsley. Something I'm going to advise right now if you play this scenario, be extremely early on every single stop. The times that are listed as stop times for the journey, for your timetable, are not very well set up. The next stop at Kemsley, you actually have to be there well within the 2144 section, and you also cannot stop at the end of the platform because the doors will not open. If the next stop after that is Newington, and I already just did this, which is why I know this, I arrived 3 seconds after the marker, and I was considered 30 seconds late. So you actually have to be there about half a minute early on that one. You need to be really judicious with your timings on this scenario, and I believe this applies to the standard scenario as well, because if you don't get the check mark on the standard scenario because you're late, like I'm being shown as being late here, you fail the scenario. So I would say on the standard scenario, feel free to speed if you need to. On this one, I have to do it without speeding. So we're going to try to bring this train to Kemsley super quick, and about the middle of the platform is what I'm aiming for. If I go too far, the doors won't open, but as long as at least the back door opens, the back car doors open, I should be fine. And that might actually be ideal, because I might be able to take off sooner if the front train doors do not open. So if you can put it in the right spot, you get a few extra seconds to head towards your next stop at Newington. We are getting close to our train speed limit of 75 miles per hour, also the track limit here. I will start slowing down, however. think we got our placement figured out here. Let's get this train stopped and get those doors open before we get too far. Otherwise, we can't open them. I know this now. And arrival at Kemsley platform number 2. Some doors, at least, are open. Let's see how many. Leaving Kemsley, our next stop is Newington, platform number 1, which is off the main line. There is a central line that does not stop at the station. So we're going to be taking a junction onto the Newington platform, in addition to the junction getting off this line. So I would show you on the map right now, but it's a little dangerous for me to do so at this point. We are approaching the Y that takes us onto the main line, the line between Faversham and London-Victoria, and other destinations. Let's say between Faversham and Chatham, or Gillingham. So now I'm going to start slowing down for the 20. I kind of need to. That's about the right spot, I think. Okay, I've reached the 1 in 50 uphill, so I'm going to keep it 25% throttle so as not to lose too much speed on this uphill. This will allow me to maintain speed going into the 20 mile per hour section at 20 exactly. I can also move it up to 50 if I want to reapply a little bit of speed, but you can't do that too much. We do have to take that risk though, because we do know the timings are not being fairly calculated on this scenario. So we're going to get into 30. We're going to get ourselves back up there quickly. We are now back up to 30. You can see we are rejoining the main line. Some infrastructure on the left that you can observe there. Let's not speed. The one dangerous thing about coming off the uphill, you can easily speed. We're going to be entering the 90 right now. We are now on the 90. So I can show you now on the map, if I head back here, we have indeed come off the Y. You can see the blue path behind us where we came from. So we now are on our way to Newington. And I'm putting the full speed on as much as I can, up to 70. 70 miles per hour, of course, is our speed limit. We have to make this stop according to what I already experienced by 21:51:06. Otherwise, we are deemed as being late. We are 1.5 miles out from the station. I don't really see a signal here, so I'm not sure what we're being dinged for here. I think that's supposed to be a flashing junction signal, because I don't see any signal at all. Normally, if that happens, you would expect it to be a red and you would radio the signaler, but in this game format, we know that the double flashing signals and sometimes single flashing are bugged. So we know that to likely be a flashing signal. I'm at 70, I can't speed, so let's make sure this downhill does not affect me too much. That we have coming up. I think I'm okay with this speed. We are going to be super early on this stop, it looks like. I am very happy about that. I'm going to start bringing the speed down a little bit because I think I am going to be super early here. And like I said, I'm happy about that. Getting down to the 55 range right now should be good. Now we're going to start slowing down for good for this stop. I might have waited a little too long to start slowing down. Hopefully the entire platform is usable here. I think it is based on my experience with the 465, but we will find out. Let's bring this whole thing to a stop. We have plenty of time for the stop here, I think. And that will do. We don't need to get all the way to the end of the platform. Why take the risk? Arrival at Newington, platform number 1. There's a service to Ramsgate we just saw going by. Leaving Newington, our next stop is Rainham. And knowing that the time of expected arrival is 21:55:27, we will try to arrive at 21:54. Because that's just how this scenario works. Problem is we got 2.5 miles to go. That is not going to happen. Especially if we're being cut to a 60 up ahead, which I knew was going to be coming. So we're going to try and take advantage of the 75 while we can to get as much time as we are able to accumulate here at fast speeds. Conveniently, there's a 90 right at the Rainham platform. That's not going to help me much. Translation at all. Now the good news is the new speed limit is about 0.6 of a mile away from the platform entrance. So we're going to need to be slowing down by that point anyway, just a little earlier than I would like to. We are going to get to our 75 speed limit. Can I get all the way there? No. Good enough. Good enough. We just got our warning for the 60, so we're going to do it. We are losing little hairs of speed here, so we might be okay without hitting any more brakes. It's looking like that's going to be the case. Yeah, we're down to 60. There we go. That worked out well. That was splendid. So we're going to maintain this 60 now as much as we can until we need to slow down again, namely for the stop. It is now coming up on 21:54. We will stop with some number of seconds on the 21:54, which is actually good. That should give us at least a half a minute early. Saw the shunt signal on another track there. I thought that was mine for a second. I almost panicked. So I'm down to 30. That's good enough. Don't lower anymore at this point. And once we enter the platform, lower at that stage. Actually, I was slightly early on that. But it works. I want to get to the building part on the HUD if I can. We can stop anywhere along this platform. I believe the whole platform here is usable. And arrival at Rainham, platform number 1. leaving Rainham. We have about 4 minutes to get to Gillingham and end this scenario. And having already had to come back in and retry 2 parts of it, due to bad timings, I am happy to see the backside of this scenario. I genuinely am. Especially because it's at night. I'm sure you're happy to see the end of this one too, because, you know, it's at night. You can't see much. Though when I go to the YouTube video, I'm going to probably have a lot more daylight here than I expected. So the fact that I can't see much right now, you're probably seeing a lot more than I can. It's actually funny, I have seen in editing some of the, some extra daylight, some extra moonlight or something. I'm like, where'd that come from? I didn't see that. For some reason, I cut my throttle down thinking the speed limit was 60, but the 60 is further ahead. We are in a 90 right now, aka 75. We have 2 miles to go, so if we can maintain 60 most of the way into Gillingham, we are going to be good for our stop. Very, very good for our stop. And I'm getting a few extra seconds right now going 70. There is Gillingham, so I should have plenty of time. That is a green signal. Now, we could still have a red signal on the entrance to Gillingham, but I think there would be a double yellow at the next signal, so chances are, if anything, that next signal will be the double yellow. I think on the main line you have to have a 2-signal warning of a red. So if we have a red at Gillingham, we know the next signal will be a yellow, and I think I do see a yellow up ahead. I can confirm that. So that will be a double yellow signal. That means we will have a single yellow signal right after that. We are now under the 60 mile per hour speed restriction. Going to try and stay in the 57, 58 area that I'm in right now until we get a little closer. But I'm going to have to be mindful of the fact that that red at the end of the platform could trigger an emergency brake if we are coming in too fast for its liking. So I'm going to have to slow down a little early, unfortunately. I don't like that, but it's what we have to do. It's what we have to do. So now we have a single yellow. I will start bringing the speed down in all likelihood that we do have that speed containing problem here. Hopefully we don't, because I will be angry. So I'm coming in at 13 miles per hour. I can stop anywhere on this platform, and the scenario is over. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop. I'll be generous and try and get them a little closer to some kind of a shelter here. I don't think there is much of one on this side, but there is something. So I'll get to the building on the HUD, and that should be enough. We should be plenty of time, even if there is a bad timing involved. So we're going to let the passengers off right here. Actually, I could probably go just a little bit further. This is me being proper for whatever reason. I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm taking my risk for my passengers. Let's let our passengers off here and hope that I didn't just penalize myself. Arrival at Gillingham platform number 2. Let's look at our train. So, let's turn the wipers off before we do anything else here. Wipers. Wipers. Off. Thank you. So, let's see. The wipers are going across the name. That's kind of weird. In any case, yeah, that's the end of that scenario, and I may have just cut myself on my last stop on the lateness and the timing, so we'll see what happens when I get to the scoring screen. You've arrived on time into Gillingham. I'm getting achievements, by the way. Class 466 Perfectionist, Class 466 Veteran Driver. That's for completing this scenario. You have been given plenty of time for the train to be moved into the depot before the next train arrives at Gillingham. Yes, I have. So yeah, we got our scenario completion. The other achievement last scenario was also just for scenario completion. There was no point achievement. You just completed the scenario, basically. So, mission complete. Let's see how we scored. The last stop liked me. Okay, that was fine. We got a perfect score. That's all we need to see here. Perfect score. Okay, that's that. That's that analyzed. That completes officially the London-Faversham high-speed route. We are going to return to this track not only as part of the merged route or to look at any workshop scenarios that use this route and might even be playable on the merged route. But we are also going to see this part of the track when we go back to the Chatham main line officially and run it as part of the route to Dover and Ramsgate. And that will be the point at which we officially see all of the Faversham track. You may remember the Chatham main line goes only to Gillingham and then Rainham, I believe. I think Rainham is the final stop, but I don't think I've seen a scenario go that far yet. Nonetheless, when we go to the Chatham main line and continue on, obviously it does go to Faversham. You know that. Because you've seen me play that, hopefully. And if you haven't, then hopefully you knew that already. And if you didn't, well, I taught you something today. You're welcome. So there are several stops on the way to Faversham from Rainham, and you've seen me do them in these scenarios, hopefully. Or you've done them yourself, or something like that. But in any case, when we do come back to this track, it will either be as part of those 2012 scenarios that can be run on that route, or it'll be part of the 2016 merged route, or it will be part of the Chatham main line itself all the way to Dover and Ramsgate. Keep in mind that the B000 merged route only goes to Faversham, and it's in final version, so it can't be edited. And for that reason, if you want to play to Dover and Ramsgate, you have to go to the D000 download, which does add the Faversham Ramsgate. So you can actually go, or Dover and Ramsgate, sorry. So if you want to, you could go all the way from St. Pancras to Dover or Ramsgate, if you want to. If you really have a reason to do that, you're welcome to do that. Or you can just start at Gravesend, which might make more sense. Or you can even start a couple stations back on the other line that goes to Dartford. Whatever you want to do. I don't know if they're all real services or I'm just making up something that's fictional, but you can drive whatever you want to drive. It's a video game. Just, for goodness sake, just drive it. All sorts of options with that route, with that merged D route. Even more than the B route, and of course way more than the A route, which is set in an earlier time frame with different station layouts. In any case, enough talk about that. I'd be curious if an E route ever shows up with the 2012 build. That'd be kind of interesting. But in any case, we're done here. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will be back next weekend with more wonderful train simulator content. I'm actually recording ahead for once. I'm actually recording this on the day I published the Miami scenario, the track blocked ahead. So I hope you enjoyed that scenario. That just published literally right as I was recording this. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the 3 scenarios that we did here, or 4 scenarios if you include the training. And I'll see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Now that I have some time to think about what I want to do next. See you next time. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.